So I've just finished installing the latest version of iTunes on my MacBook Pro and updating or syncing my iPad with it. So I now have a bunch of applications. I have some of my music and content on the iPad, so I can start playing with it. Now, one thing that's really frustrating for me is when you buy a companion device from Apple, such as an iPod Touch, an iPhone, or now the iPad, is that you can't start playing with it right out of the box. You have to go through that procedure of setting it up. One thing that's frustrating for me, reading all these articles about how the iPad makes a great device for people that don't really like computers or don't like the complexity of OS X or Windows 7, is that you can just hand them one of these and this can be their device. That's not the truth. You simply can't give this to your kid that's going off to college. You can't give this to grandma that doesn't like using computers and let them go at it, because if anything goes wrong with it, you're going to have to sync it back with the notebook or desktop that you set this up with. If you want to update to the latest version of the operating system, if you want to get some digital content over to here, you're going to have to plug this into the MacBook Pro, to your PC, to your tablet, or your desktop, just like I did. So you do need another computer, but once you get up and going, like I have, you get this nice home screen. So let's look at this just very quickly. I'll get into more detail on each application. I'm going to go ahead and buy some applications to play with. I'm going to go ahead and rest this on my knee. As Warner Crocker pointed out in the Apple Guided Tours, a lot of people are going to be resting the iPad on their legs in order to use it. It is pretty light. It weighs about 1.5 pounds, so it's not too difficult to hold with one hand. But to balance it and get the orientation that you're looking for, you're going to want to rest your arm on your legs, or you're going to want to rest the iPad itself on your leg. So let's go ahead and get into some apps here. Going to open up Safari. I've already plugged in my network's password. You will have to do that when you set it up for the first time. And we have some popular videos here. This is how YouTube looks when you fire it up, and this is not Flash like you're used to seeing on your Windows or Mac, Windows-based machine or your Mac. Let's go ahead and play this video. And you'll see it starts off playing really, really tiny. I don't know why they do that, but that's just kind of silly. Let's go ahead and tap at it. Oh, you gotta zoom maybe. There we go. So now we've zoomed and we can see this video playing, and it looks pretty good. I mean, the screen is very sharp. Let's go ahead and turn it sideways. There we go. You'll notice that we do have these big bars. That's because this device, the aspect ratio, isn't as wide as what we're used to on today's devices. Most of the devices out there are 16:9. This is not. This is closer to what you're used to on your old television sets. Going ahead and tapping on the screen brings up the player controls that you might be used to. Go ahead and make it smaller and go on to the next video. So that's YouTube on here. Let's go ahead and go to gottabemobile.com. You'll have to use this on-screen keyboard to find your way around and enter addresses with the iPad. And as you can see, this keyboard is really large. I've got big hands, and it seems like I'm going to have a little bit of trouble reaching for these keys. It's just oversized a bit. So let's see how gottabemobile.com loads up. It loads pretty quickly and nicely. Let's see here. Everything on the page loads nicely, quickly. Let's go ahead and click around on here. Here's Warner Crocker's video of his unboxing of his iPad. And as you can see, there's a YouTube video right there that we can go ahead and watch. This is something that you cannot do or could not do on the iPhone, and you can't do this with embedded Flash videos. And what YouTube has done is they've gone ahead and moved their videos to HTML5, so you can actually watch YouTube videos within websites that have embedded. This is really a big improvement, and really nice. Now, unfortunately, there are a lot of websites that have not gone over to HTML5 and rely on Flash. You're not going to be able to go to, for example, Hulu.com, which is the second most popular online video site after YouTube. Let's go ahead and go to Hulu.com and see what happens. And we'll get this big warning message that says Hulu requires Flash Player 10.0.0. And without it, we get absolutely nothing. We just sort of get this warning message. I accidentally clicked on something, but nothing will work. If we hit play, let's see what happens. Yeah, we just get that error over and over again, and that's not going to be too pleasant of an experience. Now, geeks, some of our readers at GottaBeMobile.com, we're going to understand the difference between Flash and HTML5, and we might know where to find the content. But for the general consumer, this might be a very frustrating thing. When it's going to be hit or miss for the time being when you navigate from site to site, and some videos play and others don't. In fact, even on GottaBeMobile.com, some of the videos that we embed are with YouTube, and others are with other services such as Blip.tv, which is still using Flash. And even on GottaBeMobile.com, we're going to have an experience where iPad users are going to be able to watch our videos on some instances and not on others. The last thing I want to just take a quick look at before I end this video is the App Store. The App Store is going to be key, in my opinion, to the success of the iPad or the failure of the iPad, because there's not a whole lot that the iPad can do that you can't do with another device. So the sort of killer app is going to be apps, in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and take a look through here, and as you can see, it's a much nicer user experience than the iPhone. I mean, you've got a much better layout with a lot more room to play with for the applications. I'm going to go ahead and buy an application or two and record another video. This has been Xavier with Gotta Be Mobile, and we'll get you more iPad coverage as soon as possible.